and welcome to a brand new episode of Dodgers Territory on this fine Thursday afternoon. That is Clint Pasillas. I am Alanna Rizzo. Katie Wu is on assignment. Happy that you guys are here. Let's get those chats in the comment section. Let us know what is on your mind. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars, like and subscribe as we try to make our way to 20,000 subscribers right here on the Dodgers Territory podcast, part of the Foul Territory Network, as we enter our 3rd season together. All right, Clint, lots to talk about today. Let's get to the big ticket.
Let's do it.
All right, you said it best. A PSA for PCA. Shut your mouth, brah. Let me tell you why. Actually, Clint, you tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, you already talked a good little bit about it on Fair Territory earlier. If you guys missed it, check out some of Alanna's thoughts there. But we're going to dive into it more here. If you guys have been living under a rock, Pete Crow-Armstong, the center fielder for the Chicago Cubs, he was asked a question. I don't even know where it came up exactly, but he had some thoughts about Dodgers and particularly Dodgers fans while giving some love to the Wrigley faithful fans there in Chicago. The quote here, "I love Chicago more and more." Of course, it's worth noting he is a California guy, grew up in the Valley, very well-off, wealthy kid. Ho-hum, that's part of the story. But he says the people are great in Chicago. They give a shit. They aren't just baseball fans who go to the game like Dodgers fans to take pictures and whatever. They're paying attention. They care. And my first reaction to it, Alanna, was like, yeah, sure, there are plenty of those people. I could think back to my kind of rant game. I think it was game 3 of the whichever one of the postseason games where I was complaining about where are the fans at? I would like to see people in the seats, a little bit more excitement and all that kind of stuff. But you could say that about every fan base. Every fan base has the type of people who are just there for a night out. They're there taking the family. Maybe they're not that into baseball. Maybe they're not super invested into the team at that moment. And, they wait to be fair weather fans at the end of the season, paying attention during the postseason. So he has a point to a degree to single out Dodgers fans, whatever. It's niche, it's sexy, it's fun right now. He's going to get a lot of people. It's going to elicit a lot of engagement like it has. There's more to the story, but first, your thoughts on this. That was day 1, and of course, the Foul Boys, Przinsky, heading over to Chicago Sloan Park, their spring training the next day to get direct quotes, a follow-up. We have to talk about that as well. But part 1, what's your take?
Part 1 is I agree that he has a point to some degree, but all 30 teams, to your point, Clint, have fans that are there for the absolute love of the game, and there's also fans that are there just for some sort of entertainment purpose. There's not a lot of fan bases that are so well in tune to the game as a collective, right? I mean, you can think about, they always used to say the Cardinals fans were the best in baseball and so smart about the game. And yeah, there was a time in Cardinals history where that was the case, but it hasn't been that way for quite some time because the Cardinals as a team haven't been that great. But you can't tell me that there's not a lot of Dodgers fans, which, by the way, Dodger Stadium holds more fans than any other ballpark in the league. So 50-something thousand, onwards and upwards of that. Yeah, there's some fans, of course, that may not be that into it. But, okay, let's talk about Wrigley for a hot second. You don't go to Wrigley and sit in the bleachers and drink 27 beers in those plastic cups and then put them together and make a tower of plastic cups all the way to the moon if you're there really wondering how many 3-2 counts have been in this game. So there are fans that are going to be bananas in terms of those types of shenanigans, but you can't say as a fan base, as a whole, as a collective, that Dodgers fans don't care and they go just to take pictures or whatever. I would like to know how many games that PCA has been to as a fan. You mentioned he grew up in the Valley. Doesn't mean that he couldn't have gone to Dodger Stadium. Doesn't mean that he wasn't a Dodger fan growing up. I don't know who his allegiance was when he was a kid. But to say that the Dodgers fans don't care and that the Cubs fans give a shit, that, okay, Yeah, but it's every fan base you can say that about. And you know what? Talking about, I don't know, it's just silly to me. And again, here we are talking about it. And he reminds me a lot. And I like the kid. I like the way he plays the game. I think he's good for baseball. I like that he kind of shows his personality. Not everybody has to be in a three-piece suit and an accountant and have no personality and, not talk and that type of thing. But he reminds me a lot of Jazz Chisholm. Wait until you like legit have done something in this game to speak of before you go off and start, spouting all of this nonsense, perhaps of what you don't even know what you're talking about. And to your point, that was part one. When he had an opportunity to not clean it up, because I don't think he wanted to clean it up, he not only doubled down, Clint, he took it a step further.
And I didn't get a chance to really like back that statement up with the fact that has nothing to do with Doc. That has nothing to do with Shohei, any of the players over there. I love Mookie Betts. I look up to him like crazy. Freddie's only ever been great to me. If anything, those are the guys that have given these fans a reason to be fans. And, I grew up going to Dodgers games when they weren't always good, when they had like Manny Wood pop up. But it's like they go in phases. And I remember all fans fight and stuff, but like putting the Giants fan in the coma, like that stuck with me as a kid. Like just little things, and sitting in the stands, just nasty stuff goes on. I didn't always experience that at other ballparks. But like I said, that has nothing to do with who's actually on the field for them. I love playing against them. And I just love what they're doing right now because they're creating a dynasty. But I want to take them down too. And again,
I love it.
Got all the people that are up in the bleachers,
good for
man. Like
for sports, man. Rivalries. Let's go.
Talking about the bleachers, people in we call it the pavilion, by the way, PCA. Check your privilege there. Again, he was not inherently wrong with his first comment. Add 28, 29 other ball clubs, fan bases to the mix there. But again, like you mentioned, Alanna, to double down and then to mix in the Brian Stowe tragedy, it's just a bad look. And you could tell he was cornered. Sometimes it's smarter to just zip it than try to pile on. And he got engagement out of it. And I can tell you what, Cubs fans are going to love him, but bro might be public enemy number one at Dodger Stadium.
You know what's interesting about that whole situation too? And the Brian Stowe thing was inexcusable. It was unreprehensible. It's absolutely disgusting. And I hope the people that put Brian Stowe in that position have a horrible life and never experience an ounce of joy again, because what they did to him was absolutely disgusting. But let's think about what the Cubs fan base did to why am I forgetting his name right now? Oh my gosh, he hit
You talking about
the
Steve
ball.
Bartman? Steve Bartman?
Yeah, Bartman.
Yeah.
The whole Bartman game. That guy had to move. He had to go under witness protection. He had to he was legitimately one of the biggest Cubs fans in the world who made a mistake on a ball that Alou was trying to catch in a massive game, in a very important game. He had to basically leave. Like he went into witness protection. Nobody knew where the heck the guy was. I mean, there were police that had to guard his house. So if you want to talk about a fan base that has taken it a little bit too far, I mean, there's a situation for every fan base that you can say this about. But to then go back and say, well, no, this is not about Doc and the players, and then to do this again to the fan base, that's just, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I know everybody wants to give Dodgers fans crap because they show up late, they leave early. Have you ever tried to get to a game when it starts at 7 p.m. and you're even downtown LA and you work until 5? Again, not making excuses. That is the reality of what happens when you live in Los Angeles. It's not and talk about taking pictures. It's not our fault that LA is the destination. It's not our fault that all the celebrities that live in Los Angeles want to be there. Oh, sorry that the only fans you get are the same fans over and, the same celebrities over and over and over at your games when we have a revolving door of celebrities. Bam.
And the things he encountered at Dodger Stadium, the things he's referencing at Dodger Stadium, these people, again, he called it the bleachers. It's the fucking pavilion, tiny baby child. He never sat out there. He never sat out with me and the homies out there. And my last name is Pasillas, so we are the homies. I am Mexican. They are my people. We are my people. But Rich Boy never sat in the fucking pavilion. He never sat in the cheap seats at any of these other ballparks he said he went to and didn't see crime and drunk people. There's drunk people at every ballpark. That's the whole reason you go to the ball game, is to drink, watch your team, yell a little bit, and sometimes people are like, hey, keep it down. And you can flip them a couple of birds or whatever. It's public. It's not just baseball. It's every goddamn sport. But my final thought on this is hype your fans up, hype up your team, your fan base. You don't need to talk shit about other teams and other fan bases. But again, I'll ask you directly: is he now, in the eyes of Dodger fans, is he public enemy number one?
I mean, I don't think he's important enough to be public enemy number one. I mean, this was what's so funny about, and I'm looking at our chat here, Sean's thoughts, 8856. God, I'm so blind. He said, here's another question. What is PCA doing during the game that he is paying attention to what LA fans are doing? He should be locked into the game, right? I mean, maybe he's taking it in from the bench. I don't know what he's doing, but let me tell you something. This is also why I put him along the lines of Jazz Chisholm Jr., who said he was going to be the next one to join the 50-50 club. He hasn't even hit 40-40 yet. And he also said that he wouldn't come to LA. Nobody's asking you to, number one. Number two, it's like, why even put that nonsense, that bulletin board material out there? Because you're just being silly. Like if this was Aaron Judge saying that, not that Aaron Judge ever would because he has class. If this was a legitimate player in the game that has a lot of black type on the back, and I think Pete Crow-Armstong has the potential to be a really good player in this game, but it kind of reminds me too of the Alex Verdugos of the world, right? The say a bunch of stuff, talk a lot of smack, but don't have the I know he was an all-star, PCA was, but don't quite have the resume to be able to say these types of things. If this is coming from a Bryce Harper or a Blake Snell before he came to LA, or a Garrett Cole, or somebody that has that resume. I mean, Kyle Schwarber, any of these guys. Okay, maybe I give it a Mookie Betts. Maybe I get Freddie Freeman. Maybe I give it a little bit more credibility. But you haven't done enough in this game. You haven't spent time in the pavilions. You haven't played enough games in Dodger Stadium yet where you've been productive enough for people to pay attention to what you're saying. That's like me saying that the Phillies are the worst fans. I mean, yes, I've been to Philadelphia a billion times, but in my experience in Philly, I've never felt that way. But I wasn't born and raised on Broad Street. I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. So I don't know. It's just silly. But again, he got what he wanted. We're all still talking about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is, I guess we can call it his 15 minutes of fame. This will follow for a while. It's definitely a speak before you think type of situation. And you mentioned, Alex Verdugo. Obviously, Doogie had some of that kind. A lot of people have that kind of. We're in the business of speaking before we think sometimes. We try to avoid saying dumb things, but also we don't have the platform. I definitely don't have the platform of somebody, a Major League Baseball player. Again, one of the bright up-and-coming stars in this game, one of the better defensive center fielders in the game. Watch your peers. Watch the people around you. You mentioned Aaron Judge. Watch the veterans, the people that have the utmost respect in this game. See how they operate. Incorporate that into your life. And again,
I highly doubt that Kyle Tucker was doing that. And Kyle Tucker, I know, has a very low running motor, so maybe that's not the best. But he is a guy that has a much bigger resume so far. You're not. Dansby Swanson's not doing this nonsense. Okay, a first overall pick in the draft. It's just think about what you're doing and what you're saying. And I'm not saying you have to mold yourself to be somebody else. I like that he has personality. I think baseball can sometimes be a little bit too boring, but I do think you have to recognize what you're saying, who's saying it. And it's like me. It's like if I were to speak on, world peace. What the hell do I know about world peace and how to achieve it? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to say stay in your lane and just shut up and dribble. I'm not saying that, but come on, man. You don't know what you're talking about at 100% level there.
Dude was sheltered, and it is what it is. And I'm sure we'll have. Dodger Stadium's going to be real happy when he shows up. The boo birds are going to be raining down there at Dodger Stadium this year for the rest of his career. If the fans, if you don't want to wait, you might have a chance to boo sooner than you think. And we're going to talk about it right now with the help of our friends at SeatGeek.
Yes, yes, yes. The Dodgers, they're going to welcome in the Cubbies, Clint, to Camelback Ranch this Saturday. I don't think PCA is going to make that trip from Mesa. You never know. Maybe he's like, let's go. I'll just do this. I'm going to put my body where my mouth is. I can't get down there to potentially show him some love, but fans of Dodgers territory can do it for me. Just a suggestion with the help of today's video sponsor, SeatGeek. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, let me tell you more about them. Over 35 million downloads. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek. So if you can't go to the spring training game, you could wait for the Cubs to come to LA April, I think it's 23, 24, 25. You could also get concerts, other sporting events, festivals, more MLB games. The WBC is just around the corner. NBA season's in full swing. You can get World Cup tickets on SeatGeek. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. So if you're getting a good deal, bad deal, you look for those green dots like you're seeing on the screen now. Green means good, red means bad. Alanna, why don't you tell them more?
Yeah, every single ticket's backed by their buyer guarantee. And of course, we have a code for you guys, of course, because we love you. You can use code Territory10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's any tickets, you guys. 10% off. It's not just sports. Promo code Territory10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you for supporting the brands that support us here at Dodgers Territory.
Now we have actual Dodger stuff to talk about. Let's get into it in Bleeding Blue. Alanna, the people are a little upset that we're live during a game, and we might look at changing our schedule next week a little bit. We'll figure it out. Our people will talk to your people. But spring training is happening. The Dodgers entered the day 5-0 on the Cactus League season. They've scored 44 runs. All of them still no home runs. It's all just good old-fashioned moving the baseball around. Yesterday, I would say maybe is the first kind of little bit of a sore spot with Roki Sasaki's first start of the spring. I'm not too worried. 36 pitches, 17 of those for strikes, threw an inning and a third. Did record 3 punchies, but also 3 runs allowed. What'd you see with Roki that either gave you a little bit of hope or gave you some concern?
Yeah, just a little bit of early panic, I think. An inning and a third, as you mentioned, the 3 earned runs bothered me. The walks bother me more. I think the 2 walks that he gave up did have the 3 punch outs, but man, only going an inning and a third, throwing 36 pitches, that's a lot. That's not efficient. And again, maybe he's working on, we've talked ad nauseum, Clint, about the fact that Roki Sasaki needs to incorporate a third pitch to the arsenal because a 2-pitch pitcher only plays coming out of the bullpen. The Dodgers have said they wanted him to be a starter. So maybe that's what he's working on right now. Maybe taking what he's worked on in the lab, inside sessions, in bullpen sessions, and trying to incorporate it into a game. And maybe he's tinkering, and this is the place to do it, right? Spring training is the place to do it. It's not about the results. It's about the process. So maybe that's all it was. We're not privy to that. But again, I need to see him go out there and have a dominating performance, whether it's with the 2 pitches that he's comfortable with or just in general. I still feel like, and again, he's more of a quiet guy by nature, but I still feel like he and again, I've not spoken to him privately. I've not spoken to him personally, but I just feel like he's pitching a little scared. He's pitching timid. He's not attacking the zone. He doesn't seem confident in his stuff or in his posture. Again, first outing, how many more do you need to see to really form a decent opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see. I'll say I'm not sounding any alarms yet. I'm not worried. He was, like you mentioned, he's working on some stuff. I would like to see probably maybe 3 more starts. If there's something like this, I might start to raise an eyebrow a little bit. But you saw, he even had the pitch comm on him. I think he was calling cutters a lot because we know that's a pitch he is trying to get in the mix for himself. He's trying to add that third pitch for him to be a more higher quality starting pitcher or starting option for the Dodgers. He's happy he came out of it healthy. Doc had mentioned that it looked like he was overthrowing a good amount in that first inning, but he cleaned it up after the fact. Again, 3 punchies, the fork ball, the splitter, when he did actually, get it off when he threw it. It was disgusting, as it's going to be. But if he's just coming out, if he had the balls to do what a veteran might do and go out for his first spring training outing and work on some stuff instead of trying to impress. And that's the thing. Is he trying to impress and kind of letting that get to his head that it didn't go his way immediately? Or is he actually just trying to work on some stuff? I'm hoping it's the latter, and that's the type of thing I'll definitely be watching over his next few starts here, the Cactus League season. But he was healthy. That's the most important part for me. He stayed healthy, and he will start again next week. And the Dodgers have a lot of talent. They have a lot of other arms in case maybe he struggles and has to spend some time at AAA or something like that. I don't think we're there yet, though. I don't think we're there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you've got it. All you can ask for is that you take a step forward, right?
Yeah.
And if he starts the season again in AAA, to me, that's not taking a step forward. That's basically plateauing. I mean, that's linear to where he was. I mean, yes, I know he pitched in the postseason and had some big innings in the postseason. I understand that, but we want this kid to be a starter, and he has to show that he can handle that and do that. But that being said, welcome back to River Ryan, Gavin Stone, and Kyle Hurt. I mean, this is like the Clint Pasillas trifecta of people that he wants to just hug and kiss and all the things. So I'm gonna let you give first. Let's give River Ryan his flowers, Clint Pasillas.
Yeah, River Ryan making his spring debut yesterday during the game. Everything came out of his hand well, and he came out healthy. Dave Roberts did mention, and I'll throw this one on the screen. He said, River Ryan said that his stuff felt good. He said it felt better than it did before pre-surgery. Dave is the guy who had mentioned that, pump the brakes a little bit. He's probably not somebody that's going to be available for this team to open the year, which is fine. We saw the Dodgers do this last year with Emmett Sheehan, who was coming off of the elbow surgery as well, the Tommy John. The Dodgers don't need River Ryan for March, for April, even for May. Push him back later into the season and make sure that he is available for a postseason run and maybe a rotation spot if he can earn it. You guys watched him yesterday. He has the poise. He has the stuff to absolutely warrant a roster spot, to warrant a spot in that rotation. Unfortunately, the Dodgers, or unfortunately for him, the Dodgers have a lot of talent in front of him. Top four, of course, with Yamamoto, Sasaki maybe in the mix as a number 5, but Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell when he is healthy, and of course Shohei Ohtani. It's a hard top 4 to crack, but River Ryan, give me River Ryan every day of my life, and you're going to have a good time. Gavin Stone as well, coming back, making the start on Wednesday, on Tuesday, making his first start since the shoulder operation. He also looked nasty. The changeup looked good. Kyle Hurt pitched in that game as well. My dog, my boy.
Guys, if you could have been a fly on the wall at Camelback Ranch when Clint and I walked into that clubhouse and he saw Kyle Hurt over there and then decided to get to talk to him, it was like Clint's eyes were like most men when they see Sydney Sweeney. I mean, it was like he was so excited to see Kyle Hurt and speak to Kyle Hurt. But no, I get it. I mean, these guys, and again, I know what you're saying. There's a lot of arms that they're going to have to break through. But man, you know how the season goes. Everyone's getting everybody, is probably going to hit the IL at some point, whether it's a phantom IL to give them a blow or they legitimately need it. We know Blake Snell's not going to be ready for opening day. Tyler Glasnow has yet to, be in every 5th day for the entire season, and that's okay. The Dodgers know what they're doing. As long as they get to October, they're going to work these. I mean, look at Mookie's not even getting into a game until Sunday. You know what I mean? There's this workload management thing that they're working on. Dave Essay, of course, friend of the program, says it's intentional, Clint, that Mookie's not going to be in a game until Sunday, possibly Sunday, until next week, rather. So, I mean, that's the thing, and that's okay because that's opportunities for other guys to get their at-bats, and I know you have some hitting standouts that you wanted to talk about as well. So on the position player side, who do you like?
As I say, the button up that we know they got a lot of pitchers they want to get through on the hitter side. We're seeing some of the dudes as well. There are 11 Dodgers right now, small sample size. I understand that. Everybody keep your pitchforks and torches away. Small sample size. There are 11 dudes with OPSs over 1,000 so far. These guys really standing out for me. How about Andy Paez? Mind you, all of these numbers. Andy Paez has an almost 2,000 OPS. Teoscar Hernandez over 1,600. Freddie Freeman at 1,500. One game. Hesong Kim at 1,000. Josue DePaula close to pushing 1,200 there. All of that damage, Alanna, without a homer, without the long ball. That's impressive. Again, it's spring training, and it's early in spring training. You don't put a lot of stats into spring or weight into spring training stats, especially early spring training stats. But I do like what we're seeing out of these guys, and like you and I talked about, and what we saw when we're at Camelback, there is a focus with this team, and I could think back to the 2021 spring training after they won the title in 2020. There was a lot of is there going to be a World Series hangover? How do we deal with this? And then still managing. You're coming off of the 60-game season. There were things still being learned, things still being kind of plotted out and figured out for the team. How are we going to manage this spring training, the workload for pitchers, for hitters, all that kind of stuff. Last spring training, after they had won a World Series, you get a little bit more of like, okay, are they going to do, because they struggled a little bit out of the gate, if I remember correctly, in 2021, when you get it's a World Series hangover, blah blah blah. Last year there was a lot of those questions, not as much World Series hangover. You just had the hangover for the pitchers, so particularly the relievers, having to throw a whole bunch of innings in that World Series, in that postseason, and then early in the season for the Dodgers. But like we saw this year, there's focus, there is intent behind everything they're doing, and you see it in the numbers, you see it in the results. And Max in the lineup today, who told us he's getting exactly like 47 at bats or whatever it was, like, or 53, like all of that kind of.
It's like,
That's it. It's funny. It's funny how just detailed this organization is, and again, you see it in the product on the field. You also see a lot of fans paying attention to Camelback Ranch. I'm just saying.
well,
That's a dig.
there's one thing you never have to worry about with this club, and that's preparation and having the information and being ready to go. They're never going to be out prepared by any other club. You know what I mean? They just have that focus. And when I talked to Oral Hershiser, and Clint, you were there, we ran the interview on Monday here on Dodgers territory, when I said the Dodgers don't three-peat and he said if they don't take care of the details in the most important moments. Those are not his exact words, but that's the gist of what he was saying. Making sure that they've done, that play from Kike to Miguel, and Miguel making that play at home, to get IKF and those types of things. If you don't take care of the details in the most important moments, that's why they will lose. And the Dodgers are never ill prepared. They may not always have the execution, and you can deal with it if it is a physical error. You can't deal with shit if it's a mental error, and that's what any manager will tell you. If it's a brain fart, that's when they get upset. If it's just a physicality issue, then that happens. That's the game. But I will say this is a team that will never get outworked, and they will never be out prepared.
Yep. And they're good at it, and that's why they are back-to-back champions, and that's why they're trying to run it back for the three-peat, and that's why every prognosticator, every betting app or whatever, they all have the Dodgers as extremely heavy favorites to win the World Series because they're very good at what they do. And I don't even know what's the score right now. Are they winning? Are we winning? People put that in the chat. While Alanna is going to tell you also. Actually, I'll tell you guys to go buy our stuff. By the way, we're here. We're trying to make a living out of doing this, and you can help us by buying some merch, Dodgers Territory merch, and get yourself a shirt, a beanie. Maybe not a beanie as much. It is warmer here on the West Coast and in Arizona.
Get a beanie and send it to Alanna on the Northeast because I'm freezing.
Get yourself a hoodie. Scan that QR code. Click the link in the description. Go to DodgersTerritoryShop.com. Duffel bag, all of the things. A hat. Of course, I am wearing my DT hat. Get yourself some stuff. There's shirts. I got a couple behind me. It's good quality merch, and it helps me. It helps Alanna. It helps Katie and the whole FT network. Now we're going to give you an opportunity to potentially help a pup.
this is good news, but we still need your help. This is Nova, and she doesn't need an adopter. She needs donations, and I'll tell you why. No, that's okay. No worries at all. So Nova was rescued out of Downey at the last second. All of my stories are the same, right? On the euthanasia list, was going to be put down for no reason other than they needed space and they're heartless assholes in the shelter system. And we got her out of there and she went into a foster situation, but she is a 93% German Shepherd and they are smart dogs. So she needed more guidance, more structure. She needs a job. Long story short, we got her into a very long training program and she has just been accepted into a law enforcement program where she will get trained with a handler for 4 to 6 weeks, and then she will be assigned to that handler for the rest of her life, and she will be helping solve crime. So think about that for a second, you guys. Going from a euthanasia list to being a dog that is going to help people and solve crimes and save people. And we're so grateful that she got accepted into this program. It has been a mission, but we need to get her to Texas because that's where the program is. So we're looking for an ask of $900 to get, that's only for transport, okay, to get her from California to Texas. I know it's expensive, but she is worth it. Goodreads Guardian Foundation has invested a lot of time and a lot of money in this dog, and she's worth every single penny. So if you want to donate $5, $10, $1.50, we'll take it. GoodreadsGuardian.org. And thank you very much for letting me talk about her.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody who helps out with the dogs, and if not, if you can't help there and you need a dog, go check out GoodreadsGuardian.org. Adopt a dog. It's a great time. Spring's here, all that kind of stuff. Great time to adopt a dog. It's a great time to subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to my other YouTube channel, All Dodgers. I'll be live on Saturday. We might be live tonight as well, but I'll be live on Saturday morning before the game. It's also our voicemail show. Tube in, check that out. It's always a good time talking with the friends, with Clint Nation, as it was dubbed, not by me. It was dubbed. What do you got?
I'm reading your chat, and I want to take some of these questions, but this is so funny. Richie Flores always says the same crap. DT swag is not fluffy friendly, but then Diane, who's also a friend of the program, says diet ?
Richie catches strays more than anybody in the chat, but that comes with the territory, you know. We do definitely, we want to, as we trend towards signing off, we would like to get some more thoughts from the chat. Richie also saying maybe we start DT at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Maybe, probably not. Maybe it's a potential for spring training. Huh?
That's 2 my time. Yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
Maybe we'll figure it out. It's also we would be live during foul, and we generally try not to cross-pollinate there. Interesting thought here earlier in the chat from David. Says, I actually like PCA's statement, a villain makes the games more interesting. Thoughts on that, Riz?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Again, you can be villainous as long as you don't cross a line, and he hasn't crossed a line yet, in my opinion. I just think that you kind of need to have a little bit of information before you speak. But again, we're talking about it. Oh, look at this one. Eat Crow-Armstrong. Oh, I like that.
Hold on. I'm going to turn on. I'm turning on the soundboard just for this because that's a good name.
That's a good one.
There it is. We got some memes for Eat Crow-Armstrong.
Man, you should trademark that, Steve Schmidt, Seahawk 7.
Sell the merch.
Yeah, again, we're talking about it. Let's just see how this season plays out.
Steve also said, who cares about a player he barely heard of on a team that always sucks, has to say about anything BFD. I totally read that one right, of course.
This reminds me of something. Hang on. SHK.
Yeah,
HSK opening second base. Oh, Hesong Kim opening second base. Okay, fine. Maybe. That reminds me of something. What Steve Schmidt, Seahawk, said before about the Cubs sucking. You and I are going to have, come Monday, we're going to start with kind of the biggest competitors, the biggest threats, I guess, to the Dodgers repeating. And Monday, we're going to start with the Phillies. And we're just kind of going to go in order of who we think has the best chance to kind of be or get in the way of the Dodgers. So I'd like to know your guys' thoughts if you want to tweet us or all the things about who you think. Just do your top 5 in the NL and then do just 2 in the AL, because I don't think there's that many in the AL that can knock the Dodgers out. I think the National League's much stronger again.
Yeah, so. AL, it's maybe a sleeper is the Tigers, but it's really Toronto and the Yankees. Not the Angels. We know they're not trying to win. Fans don't like it when they try to win, apparently.
No, that's not even in their top 5. But safety and affordability are in your top 5.
Mm-hmm. I think that's about time to hit the wrap it up button. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this Thursday edition of the show. We'll be back on Monday. Time somewhat TBD, probably at 12 Pacific, but we will eventually look at moving the times, and then eventually the season will be here, and
less than a month away. Season opens a month from today, right?
Dodgers will work. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, month
March 26th.
I mean, we got 28-day month. Anyways, all right, enough of us. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the show. Rate and review us as a podcast. Help us get to 20,000 subscribers. We'd appreciate the hell out of you. If you did it, that is Alanna Rizzo there on the screen. I am Clint Pasillas. Find us on the social media for some reason if you want. And we'll see you on Monday. Bye.